this deal. Signed until 2034, which is the longest deal in Premier League history. Buyout clauses in his original contract have been removed. It is said to be among the most lucrative contracts in sports history, although those exact details have not yet been released. And Erling Haaland will be 33 years old when his new deal ends. Let's welcome in a few more to the panel to talk more about this. We've got Frank Leboeuf, we've got Don Hutchison, and we've got our Manchester correspondent, Rob Dawson, here to talk more about this. Let me start with you, Rob, because this is a massive statement from both the club and the player.
It is, because essentially he's committing the majority of his footballing career to Man City. It would be big enough anyway, because he's probably the best striker in world football at the moment, but there's also a couple of side things going on with the Premier League charges around City, the uncertainty that goes with that. And also we've seen in the past there's been a lot of interest from Real Madrid and Barcelona, and really lots of that uncertainty now has gone away with one announcement. Erling Haaland has committed the best part of his career to Man City. He's going to be almost 34 by the time that contract ends. And it's a huge statement. It's a huge statement from Erling Haaland to say that he trusts the club and that's where he wants to be. And it's also a huge statement from Man City to show that they can go and do this type of deal and get one of the best players in the world to commit for that long.
Rob, is there a clause to release him if they were to get relegated due to those 115 charges against them?
Well, that is the big question. At the moment, City aren't clarifying that at all. But you have to think that Haaland has taken such a firm control of his own career that if he thought there was any kind of possibility that City might get relegated because of these Premier League charges, that he would have the ability to get out of that contract. City, though, were saying that this shows that how confident they are that there's not going to be a punishment like that. That they say that if Erling Haaland can sit down with club executives and commit to the club for that long, that shows that he trusts the club and he trusts that City are going to be okay. That the punishment, if they are found guilty, which they may not be, but if the punishment comes, it's not going to be anything as drastic as a relegation. So City certainly behind the scenes are badging this as a huge win because they get to keep such a fantastic player, but also a win in that they think that it shows that they're so confident that they're going to be found not guilty, or if they are found guilty, that the punishment is going to be particularly minor.
Are you surprised to see this contract extension, such a long one?
Yes, I am. Absolutely unprecedented. And I know, standard in terms of long contracts, but their argument has been that those contracts are for lesser money, so it kind of works its way through in the long run. But given the kind of money you expect that Manchester City are already paying Erling Haaland, will be paying Erling Haaland for a contract of 9+ years, that's huge. And to your question, and while, yes, it's an awful lot of money, it's an awful long time, credit to Erling Haaland's agent, but there has to be clauses in there about relegation, regardless of the charges. Relegation, or if Manchester City fail to qualify for the Champions League 3 years running, there'll be all kinds of outs for Erling Haaland, because while he's committed to City for this time, the expectation from him is that City will be competing for titles, not just in England, but in Europe. And if they aren't, for whatever reason that may be, charges or not, or the team just falls apart, that he would seek pastures new. But credit to him. And a couple of things here. And we've seen Liverpool and their situation, how that's played out. Now, generally, once the rule of thumb is 2 years left on your contract, something needs to be sorted. Otherwise, the balance of power shifts in the player's favour. As of this summer, Erling would have had 2 years left on his. So this is good business by Manchester City. Good business, take it for what it is. 9.5 years is a very long time.
Ale?
Well, the first thing I would say is a message to our bosses. 10-year deal. Let's put it on the table, baby. It works for Erling Haaland. It can work for me. It can work for Shaka. You take it, Shaka?
Well, if you get it, I'm there.
10-year deal, ESPN FC. Look, I don't care what walk of life you're in, and I say it half jokingly, half seriously. A 10-year deal gives you stability. And certainly, as a professional athlete, I'm not even talking about a professional soccer player. I'm talking about a professional athlete in general. To be able to plan out your life accordingly looking ahead, a decade ahead, that just doesn't happen. It's not something that we're familiar with, to be honest with you. When he comes across the news and you're seeing and you're reading and you're kind of going, huh? What? How did this happen? And how does it work? And really, for it to work, both parties here are essentially declaring their undying love for each other. And it has to be that way, that both parties are giving away power. A player is giving power, the club is giving power, and they're both meeting in the middle and saying, I love you, you love me, let's make this work forever and ever. Amen.
Don, why do you think they've chosen to do it now?
I tell you what, though, Kay, it tells you everything you need to know about Ali the Weasel, who's just looked after himself with a 10-year contract. Nothing from being frank in there, Ali. The Weasel, he looked after himself. I think the PR from Man City. You got yours, Shaq, don't worry.
Yeah,
I think the timing and the PR
Frank.
from Man City is perfect. I think the timing's perfect from a Man City point of view, just when they're facing those charges, just when they're floundering in the Premier League, just when they're scrapping in, they're out of form. They've shown Liverpool how to do it, because I've always thought with Liverpool, top the Champions League and top the Premier League, they should be announcing that their new signings, or whoever it might be that they're keeping on, whether it's Van Dijk, Trent or Salah, they've shown the way, Man City, on how to announce a signing for a 10-year contract.
To go further on what we're talking to with Don, do you think that their recent decline has got anything to do with this happening now?
Well, I really think that's a message they are sending to the fans. It's a kind of a political message. Whether it's going to happen something, whether they're going to be charged or not, they want to feel powerful and say, "Don't worry, guys, don't worry, the fans. We handle it. Look, we're going to sign for almost 10 years. Erling Haaland. It's how powerful we are." That's just a message. That's just a political message. I don't buy it. I'm very sorry, I don't buy it. It's very, very nice for Erling Haaland. As Ali said, I would be more than happy, and I would have been more than happy when I was a player to have a 10 years contract. But if it's one side, it's very nice, and he has the right to secure it. As Shaka explained, I'm pretty sure there is a clause in case of relegation that he can escape and carry on with his beautiful career into another club. But yeah, again, I don't buy it. I think it's too big. It's too big to be true. It doesn't mean anything for me, because there is always a way out for both of them that they can talk about. It's big, because 9.5 years is too big for me. But again, it's not put in the cement, I would say. It's something we can be broke down very, very easily. And in case of relegation, we're going to see that very, very, very fast. It will be very fast. Haaland's going to go. City's going to be relegated, and this contract will no longer be held.
Rob, they've been pretty busy as it stands right now. Obviously, this is the biggest bit of news from the transfer window for Manchester City. Is the feeling that they had to do something right now overall with what we're seeing because of what's happened at the beginning of this season?
Yeah, I think you're seeing in January City making statements, and whether that's Erling Haaland's mega new contract or the signings that they're trying to make. I mean, we've seen in the past that City don't tend to do a lot of business in January. They tend to want to do their business in the summer when deals are a little bit easier. But I think the situation they're in, particularly on the pitch at the moment with the start to the season they've had, they feel that they've had no choice but to do these deals. So not only are they going to sign Haaland to a big long contract, they're going to sign Marmoush from Eintracht Frankfurt. They're going to sign a couple of young defenders. They're also going to try and sign a number 6. And I really feel that City have felt that they've been forced into this, really. They've been forced into this by the number of injuries they've had. They've been forced into it by the start of the season they've had. And whether they really want to or not, which they probably don't, they feel that they haven't really had a choice, that they've got to make this statement at this time of the season.